Who said
People
that?
say that. Most competitive league. Most difficult league to get out of.
Who says that?
Well, common knowledge. Everyone says that.
I don't.
Well, you should do, because it is.
It's the most competitive league, so it's more competitive than Premier League.
It's more difficult to get out of, yeah. It is.
Good grief. Okay, listen, the reason that I sent a couple of little cheeky tweets is
cheeky.
Well, just a couple of what?
I deserve some credit.
Well, on the back of when you and I done the show, I can't remember what day it was last week, when I was saying that Newcastle United should be winning this title. That was what I said, and they were phoning up saying it doesn't bother us if we win it. It doesn't, as long as we go. And I'm like, no, you have the biggest budget, the best manager, the best squad. You should be going up, and you should be going up comfortably. They tripped over the line. They had their laces tied together. They tripped over the line.
Matter.
But it made me laugh when all of a sudden it mattered because they won it.
No, you've got it completely.
It matters now.
No, you've got it the completely wrong end of the stick. No, what they were saying.
We're champions.
No, what they were saying, Newcastle fans, and I completely get it and understand and agree with them. They do not care how they get up as long as they go up.
Of course, they didn't care if they won it.
No.
Did you see the celebration?
No, you're putting words in my mouth. Listen to what I'm saying. They do not care how they go up, by hook or by crook, as long as Newcastle are playing Premier League football next season. The fact that they've won it is an extra bonus for them. And of course, because they've won the championship, they are understandably absolutely delighted. But for you to say, you know, it's nothing to write home about, it's nothing special, I think you've been very harsh.
They didn't do it in style, did they?
Who cares? Who cares?
Listen, they have got. I'm a big Rafa Benitez fan. I think he's a brilliant manager. The squad they've got, it's just laughable.
Why do you say it's not?
Oh, it is.
No, it's not.
It is. Come on.
No, it's not. They sold their big names when they went down.
What big names? They sold Townsend. They sold they sold a couple of their big names.
Hold on. They said when Alden went to Liverpool for 25 million, Sissoko left for 30 million, Cabella left for 6. Goings out. £73 million worth of players.
They had a budget over.
They spent 30. They spent 30. But they brought in £30 million worth, and all the big names went.
They have the biggest budget in the championship.
Doesn't matter. Someone's got to have. But that you're talking about, they went down with a side from the Premier League.
Well, they shouldn't have gone down.
They kept their Premier League stars. They didn't. They sold them all. They sold the majority of their star players.
No, it wasn't done in style.
Who cares?
No, I'm just saying. Fact, they tripped over the line.
But give them some credit.
Well done for winning it. I said that in one of my tweets, that they all took it the wrong way.
Yeah, but they took it the wrong way because you're laughing about how you say it.
Well,
you give them some credit. Only 3 teams. Hold on. Only 3 teams in the last 10 years have ever been relegated and bounced back up as champions, and Newcastle are 2 of them.
Yeah, but they should be, mate. They should be going up.
Why?
Come on, you look at that manager, right, before the beginning of last season, was managing Real Madrid.
That doesn't matter.
Managing Ronaldo. He's now managing the Championship.
It shows you how difficult it is for him to do it in the Championship.
Why is it difficult?
What, so you're telling me that every top, like Conte, would get a tune out of a Championship side?
If he doesn't, then
it's totally different. It's totally different kettle of fish.
Come on.
I honestly believe this.
He's won the Champions League, this manager.
Yeah,
he's won La Liga.
Totally different. If you've got to manage with a lot less budget, it's a completely different ball game.
Budget. Massive.
No, where'd you get that information from? They haven't.
They spent more money in the Championship than any other club.
£30 million they spent.
And the players they've got. They got They got John Joe Shelby in the middle of the park.
Ex-England. How many times he played for England? Come on.
Mate,
you're clutching at straws.
They have the biggest squad. They have the best squad. They have the best manager.
And they won
the biggest budget.
And they won it.
And so they should.
Just pat them on the back. Their achievement, in my eyes, is a bigger achievement than Chelsea winning the Premier League.
Well, explain that.
Well, if you look at the sides that Chelsea had to come up against, right, in the Premier League.
Go on, name them. Name the sides.
Liverpool, right? Yeah. Transition at the moment. The worst Arsenal...
Transition? How long's he been there, Klopp?
Well, they're still not a finished article. Are they the finished article?
He's been there 18 months.
Are they the finished article?
He's been... Well, why not? They've got... Well, you're talking about budgets.
They are getting better. They are improving. They'll get top 4 this season. They haven't had that for a long time. It's Liverpool in transition. Worst Arsenal team in years. You can't deny that. You've got a Spurs team, the only team, by the way, that are putting any kind of pressure, if at all, on Chelsea. They haven't won the title since '61. City have got a new manager. Their defence is appalling. He's got to change it.
New manager?
United finished outside the top 4. They're in transition.
What's the new manager got to do with it?
Hold on. The current champions of the Premier League, they're languishing mid-table. And your mob spent over £100 million and had no European football. Mate, now, with all that in mind... I think that Newcastle's achievement of going back up, straight back up as champions is far bigger than Chelsea's, who should have won it. And nine of Chelsea's players won it 2 years ago.
Are you saying that the championship is more competitive?
I'm saying it's probably the most
just
competitive.
named that. You've just named all those teams. You've forgotten to mention that Manchester United.
I mentioned Man United.
What's their budget been since Sir Alex left? Over £500 million.
You've spent.
Hold on. $1 billion.
I was thinking about this the other day. I could take how much have you spent from virtually anyone on the planet, apart from Chelsea fans. Let's not forget how much money Chelsea just plonked up the wall when Abramovich took over. The amount of money you spent to buy your first home. And it continues. Your club are just as guilty as my club of spending obscene money.
Yeah, but Chelsea, this could well be the second title in 3 years. You've got to win things.
You've spent over £1 billion.
A League Cup for half a League Cup and FA Cup.
You've spent over £1 billion. You've spent more than United.
But we've won trophies more consistently recently.
Not pro rata, you haven't.
Of course we have,
but
recently.
No, you haven't.
Since Sir Alex left.
No. I'm talking. Why has it got to be there? Why have you got to set the bar there? Right? I don't want this to be about United and Chelsea.
No, I don't.
But my point is that you're more paid over £100 million to win the Premier League with virtually 7/8 of a team that had won it 2 years before.
Well, I mean,
Newcastle sold over £70 million worth of talent, dropped down into a different league with a manager that's never ever managed in that league, and they've not only bounced back up, but they've won it. And I think they deserve a tiny bit of respect from you.
Conte's never managed in England. Let's not throw that around.
He's managing top flight footballers.
Let's not make this about Chelsea, right? Let's talk about Newcastle, because this is a football club that should be winning it. Let's be honest.
You said no one's got a divine right to win anything.
Yeah, when you've come down from the Premier League, and this shows how bad Villa have been, by the way, because that is a club in turmoil. We'll talk about them, I'm sure, at some stage, but I just feel that Newcastle, and I said they'd win it by 15 points at the beginning of the season. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have won it, and they should. They've basically done.
How have you done that?
What they should have done.
How on earth can they have failed just by Jason Cundy's statement at the top of the season? I said they should have done it by 15. They didn't, so they haven't done anything special.
Transfer market value is £107 million.
Right.
Okay. The nearest team, is Aston Villa on 70. Right. That's the nearest.
Right.
The team that finished second was 43 million.
Right.
So the team that finished, they have over nearly £65 million more worth in their talent, in their squad.
Right.
You should be beating Brighton. They should be beating.
They went up.
I know.
You've got to give them some respect, Jay.
I just felt that it was one of those. It was literally stumbled over.
But only because you said at the beginning. Let's speak to Michael, who's a Newcastle fan. Michael, good evening to you.
Hello there, how are you?
All right, speak some sense to Jason, would you, tonight, Mike?
Jason, I tell you what, I love to listen to your show, but tonight, mate, you have lost the plot. I just want to say, if you actually talk about spending money, look what Newcastle have spent this year. It's relative to what they earn. I get that. It's 50,000 people every week. But you've got to remember, let's take two things into perspective, right? In 1955, my understanding is Chelsea won a trophy, right? They didn't win one more trophy until Roman Abramovich took over.
That's not true.
Or certainly not the league title.
That's not
right. So you're talking about massive amounts of money thrown into your club. What Newcastle have done this year, they're a club in total disarray under Ashley after last year. Benitez has come in, he sorted them out from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. He's not only rejuvenated the football club, he's rejuvenated the whole area. Mm-hmm. And what we're getting all the time in the press, unfortunately, is lack of respect to what actually they've done at that football club.
But you should be winning this title, Michael. Let's get that absolutely straight. Hey, Newcastle should be winning the championship. You were favourites for a reason.
Who won the championship 2 years ago?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Exactly, because no one remembers.
What's that got to do with it? I can find out, Michael. It's not difficult. Yeah, I'll give you the answer. What's that got to do with it?
At the start of the season, the aim was to get promoted.
Norwich.
3 teams get promoted, right? 2 teams go automatically. 1 team goes up through the playoff system. If we'd gone through the playoffs, it would have probably been just as well. The reality is, and I agree, that probably Brighton were the better footballing team, and they maybe deserve the title.
Michael.
Yeah,
Michael, do you think, like I do, that Newcastle doing everything what you've said with regards to the amount of players that left and £73 million worth of transfers and the disarray that the club was in when Benitez took over, do you think, like for like, that's a bigger achievement than a side like Chelsea, who have won the Premier League again with 90% of a team that won it 2 years before?
Yeah, I mean, it's relative, isn't it? Because you both had without a doubt, Chelsea wouldn't have won the league this year without Antonio Cundy, who, he's a breath of fresh air to the game of football. What Newcastle's done this year, as I say, they brought what Benitez has done. Newcastle would not have won that league with that squad of players without Benitez, and that's the fact.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of it, Michael. You should have won it.
They did win it. You keep saying should have.
But
Chelsea should have won it.
No, Chelsea shouldn't have won it.
They should have won it.
No, Chelsea shouldn't have won it.
No, they should have won it. 90% of their team would have won it before.
What?
The only reason you finished 10th because you had a problem with Jose Mourinho. He went, another manager comes in, you spend £100 million and you win it. All the other clubs that I mentioned at the top of the Premier League, they're in disarray at the moment. They're all over the place.
They're not in disarray.
Your nearest challengers are Spurs.
You're making excuses.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you facts.
No, you're making excuses. Chelsea, every time Chelsea won the title before this, they should have won it.
Every time. Listen to you.
Yeah, the previous times.
Every time.
But they should have won it. They were favourites. The money they spent, they should have won it.
Right.
This year, Jose left that club in a complete mess. And he had to pick up the pieces, Conte.
Do me a favour.
He had to pick up the pieces, and he has performed miracles. This is, by the way, this is Chelsea's best title.
Sorry,
this is Chelsea's
he's performed miracles.
Best title.
He's performed miracles.
And by the way, Newcastle, the season before...
Hold on. He's performed miracles.
He has been brilliant.
He's come into a club which won the Premier League 2 years before, and you've got no European football... And he spent over £100 million, and it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
No, listen to what I'm saying, right? He has turned Moses into one of the best right wing backs in the country.
Miracle.
Okay, Alonso, you laughed at Conte when he turned up.
Miracle.
You said he'd fail.
It's not a miracle. He hasn't performed miracles.
You said he'd fail.
You said miracles.
Yes.